On today's little tutorial video, we are going to be installing a new bucking into the Raptor or Lambda Defense. I don't really know. I know it's Raptor. I know they're affiliated. SR2M. If you haven't seen the review video on this thing, well, it's kind of up in the air. However, it was decently accurate, and I want to take a look at the bucking that they actually have pre-installed in here. And a sponsored bucking we'll be throwing in is Stalker's bucking that was sent to me kindly from Skirm Shop USA. They always hook it up, so I really appreciate that. And I really do enjoy their buckings, actually. So I'm interested to see what the small little contact platform on the inside of this bucking looks like in comparison to the one in the Lambda Defense or Raptor SR2M. And just a little disclaimer, if you haven't picked up one of these red rings of death yet to help support the channel, awesome Velcro patches that I am now offering, do so. And if you don't want to, that's fine too. I just appreciate you guys being here. I have a ton of cool videos on the way too, so I just figured we'll do a teching video just so I can get something uploaded. And I haven't seen any bucking upgrades for this yet on the internet, so in case anybody needs help with this, hopefully this video will find you. First, we're just going to pop the stock off, and we're going to press the little button in the back to get the dust cover off. Mine is always a little bit tight. Sometimes I have to get like a tool in there. Oh my gosh, why is that always so tight? I guess the tolerances are good. Let me get something to see if I can just like shim it off a little bit, just to make my life a little bit easier here. There we go. Cool. Yeah, mine is just overly tight. And we're just going to start off by removing the first spring and guide rod from the top. And then this buffer back here, get a fingernail under it, you can pull it forward. There we go. And we're just gonna shimmy this guy on out. Just be careful not to bend the spring too much. It's kind of a tight fit. Next, you're gonna see this little guide rod here. Pull that all the way to the back and out. And then your teeny tiny little bolt as well will pop out too. It's kind of like taking down a AK. It's kind of similar. Next, you'll see this notch here. In order to take off the handguard, you just have to fold this guy up so you get clearance here, and then the handguard will pop up and off. It's just friction fitted on. Next, we're going to punch out this pin here, and it's pretty simple. You can just grab anything thin and pointy. I'm going to use a small screwdriver with a bit on the end of it, and we'll go ahead and punch that guy out, and that'll come out one side. Just keep in mind that also holds your trigger in place, so it's going to become a little wobbly from there, and don't lose that guy. Next, we have to attach some of these screws. So we're going to take out this screw, this screw, this screw, and this screw. With all four of those screws on each side out, the upper and lower should split in two. And this guy will pop out. You could just go ahead and twist it to the only spot that'll allow the rod to peek through, just so you don't lose it. You don't have to diddle with it later. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to attack the grub screws on either side. There's one grub screw here and one grub screw right here. We'll just pull those out and be careful not to lose them. Now from here, your hop-up unit will push out the back. Just be careful when you do push it out. There's going to be a rod at the top. This is your hop arm. So we have to make sure that obviously we keep an eye on how it comes out so we can replace it and put it back in the reverse orientation. And I'm just going to grab something long and thin so you can push the barrel out. You're probably going to want to use something that's plastic, but it slides out pretty easily. There's a ton of grease on here, so you shouldn't have much of a problem. And you'll see if we hold it up in this orientation, I should be able to control how that rod's going to pop out. We'll take our bucking out, or our hop-up unit out, and I'm just going to show you on the inside here. There's a bar. You can see it kind of protruding right there. See that guy? If we go ahead and grab, like, say tweezers or something, might even be able to pull it out like that. There's also a spring. I don't know if you saw that just pop out. Oh, it's flying around. Okay, so we got the spring and we got the arm, and I'll show you how to put that all back in later. We'll just go ahead and put that aside. Pretty simple. We have our hop arm that connects to the longer arm right here. You have this sandwich style hop-up unit, and then just a basic brass barrel. I'm probably going to want to switch out the barrel in the near future. I just don't have another barrel to switch it out with. What we're going to do now is, you can see there's a screw here. We have to pop that out. And this screw is just a size down from the grub screw we just popped out. And be careful not to lose that as well, obviously. And then you can see it pops out like a sandwich. And then there is your hop arm and hop nub. Just going to pull these apart. Put that aside not to lose it. And let's pop out our old hop rubber. Very interesting. It's got like these notches on the top. Kind of weird hop. I'm going to turn on the flash so you can see the comparison between this one and the other one. So a nice close-up of both of the hop rubbers. They're both just general like VSR spec hop rubbers. But when you look at the contact patch, right? The contact patch on, well, first of all, the hop-up rubbers themselves, this is a more like glossy style finish. This one's more of a matte finish, which tends, in my opinion, to grab a little bit better onto the BB. The Stalker hop rubber is a little bit softer as well, has a tiny bit more give to it, so I can tighten it down a little bit more. It should mush up against the BB too, a little bit more comfortably. And you could see the curvature on the Stalker is a little bit less aggressive. It's more aggressive on the standard Lambda hop rubber, and I'm interested to see how well this one functions in comparison to the stock bucking. The stock bucking on this actually wasn't very bad when I tested it out. I just know that I do like the Stalker buckings frequently. It's either Stalker that I tend to run, I like the Modify X range, and I really like the 4UAD buckings. Those are like the three that I tend to alternate between depending on what's available at the time. We'll go ahead and install this guy on. In terms of installation, it's super simple. You should see this line here. You're going to want to line it up with that line at the base. And then this is the spot where the BB is going to enter. So we're going to install it with the line, matching the line on the base. And that nub in the opening right there. And that should hug the barrel nice and tight. Next, we're going to slot the arm of the hop nub or the hop-up rubber into that notch on the hop unit. And we'll go ahead and put our arm in place. This nub is going to slot right in that arch of the arm. And then we're going to sandwich it down and together, just like that. Next, we're just going to hold it pretty tight, and you'll see it's only going to be able to go on one side. That screw can't go on this side, it has to go on this side. It's got a wider flared opening. We're going to drop that screw, and we'll tighten it on down. Okay. Nice and snug. There's a new hop nub. You can see if we press, it'll start to hug down on the BB. It's exactly what we want. Here's where the install gets kind of interesting. We have to install that arm that I was speaking about before. The arm has this spring. And what we have to do is set the spring up like that. It's going to sit up in the ceiling of the outer barrel and notch up under this hop arm. So when it gains tension, it'll push in towards the hop arm. You see that? Applying more pressure to the hop-up nub. It's kind of a funky system. That's how they get the rotary system so far upwards. So here's all I'm going to do. Just take this guy. I'll flip this upside down. I'm just going to slide into that notch in the ceiling. So if I can, might have to do it off camera. It's usually not too hard. Should be able to slot that down in place. And now the only thing we have to watch out for is we have to try and get the hop-up unit in there without prying the that arm away. And it helps to just disengage the hop-up unit. Pretty simple. Like if you feel like there's restriction, you see how there's like a general restriction there? You could just loosen the hop-up arm. And that should make it a whole world easier. Come on. Oh, there we go. We got her. We're in. Cool. That guy's in place. That guy's in place. And if we just hold it and we tighten down the hop-up arm, we should start to apply tension downwards. You see that? That's perfect. Okay, I'm going to drop these grub screws in now, just hold everything nice and tight. So basically at this point in time now, if you're confident with reverse engineering it, you've gotten through it and you could do that on your own. If not, we'll walk you through it. Don't over tighten these. You don't want to destroy the hop unit. It's not made of steel. And make sure you keep a finger on the back of that hop unit as well so it sits all the way into place. A little extra hand tight, that's perfect. Next, all we're going to do is drop this guy up into the lower and just going to kind of slap it on down in place. Now what I like to do first, honestly, is line up the trigger, and then we can take that pin and we'll push it in place. Make sure it goes through the trigger, through both housings. And that helps you line up those screw ports now. And you should just be able to start to attack both screw ports. I just have to throw on a slightly different bit. And then we could drop all of these screws back in. So I'll come back as soon as I finish these 4 screws. All right, time to throw this guy in place. Again, you got to make sure it gets in that notch. Push it in. All the way and twist. And that should just lock it in place. Now to get the handguard on, all we're going to do is notch it up in the front. You got to get it pretty low. I'm going to drop this guy. Make it a little easier. Cool. There it is. And then just make sure we get the clearance from that side. Cool. And that'll lock it in place. It's nice and snug and notched up where it needs to be. Pop this back up because we have to install all of our spring and spring guide parts. Bolt. You're just going to start it as far back as it can go. If you have trouble getting it forward, just pull the trigger when you do it. I'm going to take this piece. Again, start it from the back. It's got to get in the notches. It's going to grab on to both of these edges here. It's not the easiest thing to get in place, but once you do, it'll slide straight forward. We in? We are golden. Again, pull the trigger just to get it to go forward. And then we can throw the spring guide and spring together those 2 lower pieces. Compress the spring a little bit. Slide it into the center. And if you just kind of push this guy forward while pulling the spring forward, you can drop the buffer in place. And it should click and sit snug against the back. And lastly, that spring and spring guide. Make sure it goes out that hole so you have the button. And then, I don't know why, but mine for some reason wants to close offset. You can see it gets stuck on the stock. So just make sure that obviously doesn't happen. And then, as long as we are good, you just got to press the button. And there it is. Just make sure everything installed correctly. We have this guy on semi. There's a trigger reset. And then if I flip it to fun mode, no reset. And we're finished. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.